Dana White just announced some fantastic matchups coming up in the next couple of months. We are going to break down these fantastic fights next in Fighting with Friends. Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Fighting with Friends. It's your boy, brother Gaia, here today, not to do a breakdown or a recap, but we are going to be talking about the latest updates done by Dana White with regards to the next matchups coming up over the couple of months. With me breaking down these fantastic fights is none other than brother Jedi, a rare commodity that we've seen over here. How's it, bro?
Yeah, good, man, good. Glad I
Okay,
can
man.
have some time to join the O's.
Yeah, nah, it's always a pleasure when we have you on, bro. And then also with us doing it is brother Babu, as always, doing us a favor,
Yes.
coming under the weather, but he is here today. Welcome, Babu. You good?
All good, boys. Are you guys
Okay.
feeling?
Ah, solid, bro. Solid. We're obviously excited about these matchups as well as the fights that's coming up in this current week. But we'll start with the UFC. We'll keep it about the UFC today in this episode. Dana White went out and made some announcements. And I'm going to start from the top, from the very first announcement that was made. UFC London in March 22nd at the O2 Arena. We see Leon Edwards versus Sean Brady for title eliminator. And yeah, I think it's a fantastic matchup. I think it was a very good one done by the UFC for this, considering that Sean Brady has been on a bit of a tear, only losing to Belal Muhammad since entering the UFC, whereas Leon Edwards had a bit of a shocked performance in his last outing against Belal Muhammad. So I'm going to go straight to you, Jedi, first for this one. Can you give us your thoughts about how you feel this particular matchup and what it means for that welterweight division?
Yeah, I think it's a great fight to make. Sean Brady's got a lot of hype around him and whatever. I would have loved to see Leon Edwards go against Belal again,
Sure.
especially because of the whole thing when they fought the last time. It was like at 2 a.m. And like,
Yeah.
how do you expect somebody to come and fight at 2 a.m.?
Yes.
But they did, and Belal fought really well that fight. Anyway, it would have been good to see them when they're more fresh and at a reasonable time to fight.
Yes.
But anyway, Sean Brady, who's been on a tear and beating everybody. The only guy he lost against, as we said, was the champ. I'm not mad about Sean Brady, to be honest with you. I think a lot of fights was kind of picked for him. I think this is going to be a good fight to test both guys because both feel they can fight for the title. So it's going to be basically title eliminator to see who's next. And it's a great opportunity for both guys to show why.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go and get your thoughts on who's gonna win and how the fight's gonna play out. We're gonna say that when we do the preview for this episode. But I think I can agree with your sentiment there, saying that this is actually a very good and a very exciting matchup. I too also wanted a rematch for Leon Edwards, but the performance was so lackluster. It was like, are they really gonna give him that rematch? I think he deserved it, but anyway, the UFC made their decision anyway. Babu, what's your thoughts, brother man, on this fight?
I think it's a weird announcement just because like the guy that was supposed to fight Belal is currently sitting without a fight, and we don't know what's happening with him, if he's gonna get the fight, and that's Shafkat, because now Leon Edwards against Sean Brady turns into a number one contender matchup, because I highly doubt if Leon Edwards win or Sean Brady, I highly doubt you can tell them like, hey, you need to fight Shafkat to then get the title. And now basically somebody that's like missed weight or had an injury is like out of the running to fight for the title. And I think like that is Bilal's worst matchup, and like he's kind of like sidelined now. So I think like in that sense, like Shafkat gets a short end of the stick. But I do like the matchup for either fighter. I think it's going to be an exciting fight, and I would enjoy to see something like that. It's just like for the division, it's a bit weird.
Yeah, okay. I think it's because Dana White was saying Sean Brady he's been on a, what was it, 12-1, and the one only came in the UFC, something like that, or 17-1. It's mad record. Obviously, Leon Edwards being Leon Edwards. Dana White did go on to say in the video that Shafkat was supposed to get the fight, but he got injured, and he is still guaranteed the fight between gets the winner between Belal versus what's his name, JDM. But we'll get to that one. But Shafkat is guaranteed the title shot regardless of what happens. That's what he said. That's what he said in that video. We'll have to see. I mean, I personally would love to see Shafkat fight whoever it is for the title. But the performance against Ian Machado Gary kind of left a bit of a salty taste in everyone's mouth. Anyway, boys, let's keep it moving. Like I said, we'll do our previews and breakdowns of those fights when we actually come to the preview of the event. Moving on to the other announcement that took place also in the video. On April 12th, UFC 314, the main event sees Alex Volkanovski taking on top contender Diego Lopes for again number one contender spot, or even fighting for the title, interim title, excuse me, just because Ilia Topuria has made an announcement to vacate the 145 title and go up to 155. They haven't given him an opponent just yet, but we'll talk about that one. But first, Jedi, Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I like Diego Lopes. I'm not like super mad about him. I definitely think he's one for the future and whatever. I think the run for Diego was a bit fast. It's exciting, whatever, but I think he's probably gonna get beat up against Volkanovski. I feel shit for Volkanovski because I was looking forward to the rematch with him and Topuria. I think it was gonna be liquor.
Me too.
And I feel like for Topuria, he's obviously doing it so that he protects his leg. Like he's just trying to get the biggest fights he can get. Right?
Yeah, he's doing it kind of
worried about holding on to the title or anything like that. He's just trying to get the biggest fight he can get, which is not wrong. I mean, go for it if that's what you want to do and that's how you want to lead your career. Then yeah, go for it, bro. It's all good and well. So yeah, hats off to him. I think it's another opportunity for Volkanovski just to prove why he's the best featherweight. And then maybe he can catch that rematch at 155 against Topuria. We'll see. But yeah, exciting title fight. It will be.
I don't think it's for the title.
It's going to be interesting.
I don't think it's a title fight. I just think it's a. Dana White didn't say it's for the title. He just said it's a five round potentially interim title matchup. Not yet, but
according to the announcement, on the UFC site, the announcement page, it says it's an interim title. Oh, it's for the title. It's for
it's for the title.
It could be for the title.
Yeah, because what's his name? Topuria is champion until the round starts, until round one starts, and then he's vacate, and then that's a title fight.
That's what he said. Yeah.
Lopes.
So it's basically based on that sentence to me, it's almost like you still have to sign. Fight. Yeah.
I just I think it's a little cheeky of Topuria to just let it go like that, right? Because he's only defended it twice.
Once.
I've seen weirder things.
Once, yeah.
He defended it once, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Against
Max. Exactly my point. You know what I mean? It's like, he's obviously trying to get the biggest fights. If you ask him to go up 155 and fight Max at 155, he's probably gonna say no. You know what I mean? He obviously was playing for a title fight with. So.
Yeah, he was loosely name dropping Charles Oliveira. But let's see. Babu, what's your thoughts on this one? On the matchup for Volkanovski and Diego Lopes, as well as Ilia Topuria moving up. Dana White did say apparently Ilia moved up because he can't make the 145 limit anymore. I think it's bullshit. But give me your thoughts, Babu.
I don't know. I think it just ruled him out in the same way we've ruled out. Like, Conor is not the GOAT of the sport. And the reason he's not the GOAT of the sport is because he doesn't have the credentials to show, like, hey, I've ran through my division.
Yes.
Even in the featherweight division. Like, he knocked a couple of people out, won the title, then went up,
Yeah.
then tried to go chase the bag.
Yeah.
And it doesn't show that you are GOAT of that division.
Yes.
And I think that like Topuria is making that choice, and he's not going to be known as a GOAT in his division.
Bro, I
And that's
didn't want to.
unfortunate.
I didn't want to compare it to the Conor McGregor thing, but it's
I thought it was
basically
the
the same stunt that he's pulling as what Conor did.
I thought it was the
Basically
same
the
thing.
same thing.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just unfortunate, because like you could have been a GOAT in that division. The reason you look at like Khabib and GSP and Anderson Silva and all of these guys as GOATs because they clear out their division before they went on to bigger
And they
challenges.
took the title.
Or you can do what Izzy did. Izzy moved up and then came back to his division. He went to go test the waters and came back. But I mean, like if you want to go chase the bag, then you go chase the bag. But if you want to be known and remembered in the sport, you stay in your division, you clear it out, you show that you are that like there's no fighter in your weight class below you or above you that can even come close to you. And it's unfortunate from Topuria's side. I hope things go well. I don't think it will. I think he's just gonna get ragdolled in round 1, but neither here nor there. Volkanovski, Diego Lopes, I'm happy for Volk. I think he's a true champion inside and outside of the cage. I think he holds himself to that. I do think he's lost a bit after that Topuria knockout and that Islam chase. I think he lost a bit of edge. I don't think Diego Lopes is championship material as of yet. I don't think like he has that skill set, that complete skill set yet. But I'm happy that he's getting a crack at the title, and we'll probably get a good show from Volk here at the end of it.
Look, I think that Diego Lopes left the UFC no choice, considering that Ilia went up, Max left the division. The next person in line is Evloev and Natalia Rodriguez. Evloev hasn't been campaigning for any championship fight, which is quite surprising because he's still undefeated. I felt like he should have actually gone ahead of Diego Lopes for the fight. He's quite boring, but he's undefeated. You know what I mean? He's actually got the best sort of argument to go and fight for the title. But But Diego Lopes does have a higher number rate. He does bring in more fans, and I can understand why they went for that one. Because the division is still very much, they all lost to Volkanovski anyway. So it's like, who do you give next? The only person he hasn't fought, Diego Lopes. I can understand that. For Ilia Topuria, let's just quickly play a matchmaker before we move on to the other fights on that particular card of 314. He's gonna go up to 155. We know that, right? Now it's turned out that he may or may not fight Charles Oliveira next because he's been campaigning for Charles Oliveira, just so he can get a guaranteed shot against Islam Makhachev next. KG versus Dan Hooker, title eliminator. The only two other opponents that's in that top 5 that hasn't got a fight is Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway. He beat Max Holloway in his last fight. He hasn't fought Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier can't get an opponent for his retirement fight. Who do you think Ilia Topuria should fight for his debut in the 155 division, Jedi?
Poirier, bro.
Dustin Poirier, not Max.
Yeah.
There is no shot Dustin says yes to that.
Poirier, I would like to see Poirier and Topuria, and then Max and Charles Oliveira.
Charles Oliveira rematch. Oh, it would be amazing to watch that one. Or Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier in Dustin Poirier's retirement fight for the BMF, because it is a retirement fight. He only has one fight left and he wants to make it a banger. Why not fight against Max for the BMF title as your last fight? That will sell out tickets. But anyway, I agree with Jeda. I would also probably go with that one, realistically. Babu, what do you think Topuria should be fighting as his debut fight in 155?
I think Topuria, but in that division, there's like one fight that I really enjoy, and like people just don't call him out, and that's Rafael Fiziev. And he just doesn't get called out. He just sits there in the rankings, and like people around him fight, but like there's shit happening. I think Topuria wants to campaign for a title shot after this, so it has to be like one of the top 5. And I think Topuria is like the most realistic choice, unless he thinks he's that guy and he's gonna say
Arman Sarukian.
Like
Arman finish him.
Yeah, I don't think he will take it, but I think like it's either between Armin and Dustin, and I would also go Dustin because Dustin's on the back end. It's
Yeah,
just if the UFC is gonna pay Dustin enough to fight that fight, because I
yeah,
know Dustin wants to go out with a bang, and if he
yeah.
doesn't get the bang, he at least wants the buck.
Yeah, I completely agree. But that's exciting times to look forward into that division. Staying in the 155 division, also on the 314 card. Co-main event, 5-round fight between Michael Chandler and Paddy Pimblett. Jedi, what's your thoughts on this one, bro? Hey, Paddy Pimblett taking on
Like
Michael Chandler.
I'm not super amped about it because I don't like both of these O's. But I know it's gonna be a fun fight. It's one of those fights where I think Oaks are gonna. It's not gonna be boring. I don't think Paddy's good, to be honest with you, at all. So I think he's probably gonna get beat up, especially if he tries to wrestle against Chandler.
Yeah.
I just think Chandler's is better than him everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe Paddy's got a gas tank. I don't know. I've yet to see it because I don't think he's. I don't think he's good at all.
Yeah, he's alright.
I don't think Paddy's good at all. I would like to see Paddy and anyway, it doesn't matter. He's fighting Chandler now. I think Chandler's gonna school him.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say
I
that
think
Paddy.
it's just a fun fight.
Yeah, it is. It sounds like a fan favorite kind of fight to me. I just think it's safe to say that Paddy Pimblett, at least from my perspective, is better on the mic than he is actually fighting. You know what I mean? Because yeah, like you said, Jedi, he hasn't really shown like outstanding performances in his fights, even though he's undefeated in the UFC in 8 fights. It's been very much like underwhelming performances. Babu, do you share what Jade shares, or are you hyped around the Pimblett train? And how do you see this fight? What's your
Nah,
thoughts on this one?
I'm a fan of him. I don't think he's top 5, but I think like maybe like 10 to 15, like he can slot in there. I think I follow him on social media. I see like the hard work that he puts in. He does look like he trains extremely hard. He doesn't he doesn't really go against like too much of like the grain. And I thought he was like molding like a Roberto Moicano fight. Because he had a lot of comments after Moicano lost against Islam. So I thought like that was going to be his next matchup. But I think Michael Chandler is trying to be active and he knows his clock is running out. And they said like, hey, here's the young guy, Paddy Pimblett. I think Chandler does get it done. I think he has like a better everything. It's just like the Michael Chandler that we've seen in the UFC doesn't really use a lot of wrestling and he doesn't use a lot of grappling, where Paddy does. It's just like, can Chandler go back now for this training camp and get into that zone where he's grappling all the time? Can he stop the takedowns that Paddy's going to come at him with? And then, yeah, hopefully Chandler can get it done and then maybe look at another top 5 opponent. But yeah, I think Michael Chandler is just like maybe 3 fights away from retirement, maybe 2 even.
Yeah. No, for real, I agree. I mean, 38 years old. He's gonna have
he's
to
up
obviously he must think about very strategically what he's gonna do in his next 2 or 3 fights of his career. But it's exciting fight no matter what. Eh?
In terms of Paddy, that's great. It's great, like exposure to like a top level fighter that the UFC rate actually, because Michael Chandler's only fought like championship level caliber fighters. So he's gonna get in there. He's gonna get a bit of experience, and then if he loses, it doesn't really hurt his stock. He just needs to put up a fight better than Moicano, and then he will probably fight Moicano again, like at the end of the year or next year, and then make a run at that top 3. But I think like the bigger fight is the Dan Hooker Justin Gaethje fight.
Yeah. I'll be looking forward to that one. If there's one thing about Paddy that I would put an asterisk next to his name, is that for a young guy, he's way too inactive. Way too inactive. And he's losing stock by staying so silent for so long. Like if he could fight twice a year instead of once every 2 years, it could change a lot for him actually. But I think he's gonna get beaten up quite badly in that one. All right. Let's move on. Also on this fight card before we move to 315. We see a new addition to the UFC, former two-division champion from Bellator, featherweight and lightweight, Patricio Pitbull. This is obviously Babu's number one guy. Babu's been talking highly of him. He's taking on Jed's former favorite, Yair Rodriguez, in the featherweight division. I'm going to go to you, Babu, first about this one. All right, give me your thoughts on this matchup, Babu, and also the new addition for Patricio Pitbull. Because you seem very excited about it. Give me your thoughts, bro.
I've been a fan. Like out of the 3 Bellator cards that I did watch, Pitbull was on 2. I think he's a good fighter. I think he's like one of the fighters that you just know their name, like outside of the UFC. Arguably one of the best in his division. A guy that's known to finish fights. A guy that was always said, like, I wonder how he stacks up in the UFC. And it's great to see him make that leap over. I know there was a lot of chatter of who's coming alongside with him. I think the one prospect is coming with him. I can't remember his name, but he's also a young fighter that's coming over. But in terms of Pitbull, I think he's probably going to put on a clinic against Yair Rodriguez. I just think he's a dog, bro. Is he a dog? Man's name's Pitbull. He's going to get the finish. And he's going to go on a run. And he's going to be I don't think he'll maybe get to championship, but I think he's going to be a contender in that division. 100%. Top 3.
I was making big statements here. Jedi, if you don't know, Patricio Pitbull, I watched him in the UFC. My only thing to counter Babu's argument here is that he's 37 years old. Like Michael Venom Page, like I said in the group, they're buying him over to the UFC a little bit too late. They should have gotten him while he was still champ status. You know what I mean? But anyway, Jedi, I'm not sure how much you know about Patricio, but I know you know a lot about Yair Rodriguez. Do you share what Babu shares here, or do you think Yair Rodriguez is going to school Patricio in this fight?
Yeah, no, I think he's gonna. It looks like a good fight to make for the division. I have watched Patricio before a couple times. I think he's probably just gonna grind out kind of a wrestling win. That's how I see the fight going.
You don't sound too excited about it.
Eh?
You don't sound too excited about it.
Yeah, I think Rodriguez is kind of hit the roof, and he's going up against an opponent with a style that's beaten him many times before.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, let's save the X's and O's for when we do the preview of 314. But yeah, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see the new addition. He's a killer. He does knock people out. Sometimes he does put on boring fights. But yeah, I think this is going to be a fantastic one. Right, boys, let's just keep it moving nice and swimmingly. Don't want to make the video too long. A couple of fights that's taking place on 315, UFC 315. That's May 10th. In Canada, starting with the main event. And this is what I'm looking forward to. Quite exciting. Belal Muhammad, Babu's favorite fighter in the world, taking on Della Maddalena. Babu, you have to give me your thoughts about this one, but I know that you've been not singing Belal's name over the last couple of years. Give us your thought about this matchup. Are you excited for it?
Yo, bro, that man's shit, bro. Yo, you know, before he was champion, I thought like your welterweight division is like one of my favorite divisions to watch, bro, because they would constantly have like exciting fights, bro, and like Jack Della, Kamaru Usman, fucking Leon Edwards, Shavkat, Ian Gary, Buckley. That's the like I used to think like, yo, this is a proper division, bro. This is exciting. We're seeing like good fights, bro, and then we see this one, bro. When last did this one even fight? But this might just have decision win after decision win after decision win. And if it's not decision wins, then this one's funny injuries,
Yeah.
This one's just nowhere to be found, This one won the title, not to be seen again, This one just there, chilling. Saying, I'm champion, king of the top. And chatting out of Islam's corner, like, yeah, we good. And then you see Islam mock the floor with everybody, and that man's just riding the coattails, bruh. Like, yeah, Coach Khabib. Bruh, you not part of the squad. You are outsider, bruh. You not good, bruh. You put on shit fights. Like, there's a reason, like, when they call you to the cage, bruh, the security don't know who the fuck you are, bruh. There's a reason for it, bruh. And now he's in here with Jack Della, Maddalena, who I think is a good fighter. I just think this is a matched up for him. Like, I don't think he's the guy to take over that division. And I just think it's like a good experience fight for him. But yeah, I don't even think I'm gonna watch that fight, bruh. Because I hate that man that much, bruh. And it's not even like I dislike grappling, bruh. Because I watch one championship grappling matches, bruh. It's just this one shit, bruh. You have no way to finish a fight, bruh. You got like one lucky eye poke and then they call it like a TKO or some kind.
Yeah. No, look, Barbara, I think it's safe to say that a large portion of the world and fight fans of the UFC share your sentiments when it comes to Belal Muhammad. He's probably the most hated champion in the UFC ever. Jedi, you can obviously hear how Babu feels about this matchup. What's your thoughts? I'm sure yours is a little bit different.
Yeah, I think he's a very boring fighter. I'm not going to disagree with that as well. All his matches are quite boring. It's probably just his style. He's kind of like that dude from the Featherweight. He guy that blankets everyone. Yeah. I think if Jack can get back to his feet and kind of stop the takedowns later in the rounds, he can win this fight. I definitely think Belal can't stand with him. That's like we all know that he can't
1000%
get into a boxing match with this dude because he's gonna get knocked out. He's gonna have to pressure him and wrestle and do that kind of things. So if Jack can get back to his feet and stop the takedowns from round 3 going on, he's definitely got a chance of winning this fight. But
I think Jack can knock him out.
Up to Belal to try and assert that dominance in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah,
but
basically,
it's going to be a very tactical fight. It's going to be a high-level tactical fight.
Absolutely, I agree. I'm actually quite excited for it, even though Belal is a bit of a snooze fest kind of fighter. If he fights anything like he fought against Leon Edwards, then I'm actually quite excited to see this fight. I really am. But I'll reserve my opinions about who I think is going to win for when we do the preview again. Right, boys, I think on the same fight card, we also have a matchup between Valentina Shevchenko taking on Manon Fiorot for the title. Finally, Manon is going to get the matchup. We don't have to give a quick breakdown, but just give us your thoughts about the matchup being put together overall. Jedi, how do you feel about it? Because I was obviously asking for Valentina to fight against Wei Li, but Manon is there and she has been beating everybody. So, yeah, give us your thoughts about this one.
Who is this now again?
Valentina Shevchenko defending a flyweight title against Manon Fiorot, who is number 2 in that division.
Oh, the
French lady. Yeah.
I think it's a bit overdue. She should have gotten this title a long time ago. But obviously we had that massive trilogy with Grasso and the whole thing.
Yeah.
Manon had to just wait on the sidelines till it all kind of played out, you know what I mean? Which is okay. Yes. So, I think it's a title fight that should have happened a while ago. So it's going to be lekker to watch it. And I'm sure Grasso and Rose and the other chickies are all waiting in line also.
Yeah. They're all chilling there.
She is the biggest lady in the division. She's
right now,
been on the best win streak in the division. So it's going to be a test for the champ.
Absolutely. Babu, give us your thoughts, brother.
Unexpected. Because I thought Zhang Weili was going to get the Valentina fight. I thought that was the narrative, especially like in the post-fight presser. Zhang Weili waiting for Dana there. And then, like you said, he kind of knew what she was going to ask. But I think Valentina against Manon Fiorot, I think it's well deserved from Manon.
Yeah.
She's been consistent. She's like basically an enigma to the division. Nobody has figured it out yet. So coming up against a champion, let's see how it plays out. Yeah, I just think it's a good matchup. It's quite interesting. I'll prefer to watch that over the Belal shit. That's what I can tell you.
I love it, Babu. I love it. I'm excited for it. I always love watching Valentina fight. I mean, if she wins this fight, I think it's safe to say we're going to get Weili versus Shevchenko, probably end of 2025 or 2026, very early. Also on this fight card, there's 2 more fights we're going to talk about, but we can go through it very briefly. We see Gilbert Burns, I thought he was going to retire, by the way. He's taking on the hottest prospect right now in Michael Morales, as well as Alexa Grasso taking on Natalia Silva. Typical contenders matchup there for the title. So give us your thoughts. Yeah, Pablo, just quickly give us your rundown of those 2 matchups. Like I said, Gilbert Burns taking on Michael Morales, as well as Alexa Grasso taking on Natalia Silva.
The Alexa Grasso, I'm interested to see that fight. Big fan of her. Always enjoy her fights. Natalia Silva, young up and comer, so interesting to see how they match up. And then
Brady's favorite.
But I don't know how the Gilbert Burns fight is gonna play out, because I also thought that man's like completed, but after his last fight, man's gloves was off. Was in tears. I thought like, it's done, bro. And from just hearing like from fighters talking, like I thought like he's just moving on to coaching. So we're gonna see that. Michael Morales, I watched like his last fight, I think, against Magny, and I was quite surprised because he got the finish over the Mag Dog. He's currently undefeated, as I see. So
yes, he is.
Interesting to see him get tested against Gilbert Burns, and then he could make a hot run to the title if he stays undefeated, because nobody else in that division, besides Shafkat, is undefeated. So you could see something really play out. I get pissed about the division because of the champion in that division, and Lord knows Michael Morales could fight Gilbert Burns, get put in there against Buckley, and then get put in there against Kamaru Usman, and then we still would only see Belal fight one fight and not be heard of again. So by the time like Morales fights for the title, that man could be 30. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just hope that the division can be a bit more active, because like that division has been far and few between, unlike the other divisions that's been a bit more active.
Yeah. Michael Morales and Carlos Prates are the 2 prospects in that division. They're the ones. I think either one of them could have actually fought against Gilbert Burns. But I agree with you, bro. I'll share your sentiments there. I think Michael Morales if he wins this fight, he pretty much jumps the rankings quite high. However, I do think Gilbert Burns is a very good matchup. Test the young cats, like very, very good matchup. It's the style.
It's just what Gilbert we get here.
Yes,
so we get Gilbert like that came out. I think it was Woody Gilbert. What? Not his last fight. The fight before. Gilbert fought.
He fought Jack Maddalena.
Yeah, that fight, it was a bit strange. And in the Belal fight, he threw out his shoulder. So we were like, it's just what Gilbert comes out against Michael in this fight. And I hope it's a Gilbert that's game.
I completely agree with you, bro. He threw out his shoulder against Belal, tore a bicep against Jack Maddalena, and then he fought Sean Brady in his last fight, and then just got pieced up because I think something must have happened, but he got pieced up against Brady for 5 rounds. Yeah, man. I think you're onto something there about what kind of Burns shows up. I'm in the camp of, I think his body's telling him to kind of hang up the gloves, bro. If you're getting torn biceps, dislocated shoulders, just like Dominic Cruz, you're over 30. You're over 35, bro. You need to start thinking about coaching, like moving into getting coaching badges, opening up a gym. Like you need to move to the next phase of your career after being a competitor. You need to move into, coaching like any other sport. I'm excited for those matchups. Dana White did a very good job with the UFC matchmakers to put these fights together. All of these fights are going to get divisions moving, so I'm quite excited about that. And then also the Alexa Grasso and Natalia Silva is a very good contenders eliminator for that one. So I'm very, very excited. I'm pretty keen to get AD's opinion on that matchup because he's obviously a fan of both those fighters. So I'd love to hear his thoughts on that one. I'm not too sure how long it's going to take for Jedi to come back. It looks like he ran 20 kilometers to go and take a pee. So I'm just going to end it over here. We can always just get Jed back onto the live that we're going to be doing later. So before I close off, ladies and gentlemen, if you made it this far, thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We are doing our best to get to our first 1,000 subscribers. And before I conclude, I just want to bring your attention to something on the screen. I'll bring it up now. Something that you can expect that's going to happen a bit later today. And here we go. Just bring it up screen. You can catch the Fighting with Friends panel in literally 6 hours not 6 hours, but later today at 5 p.m. South African time. We are going to be going live with the 171 event. It's going to be epic. A lot of fights. So please pull through. Come to have a chat. Watch the fights with us. And we're going to keep the platform growing. Babu, anything else before we conclude here?
If you don't want to miss the live, guys, just click on the bell. The bell will remind you, and it will send out a notification as soon as we go live. But yeah, excited to see you guys later.
There we go. Thanks a lot, Babu. On behalf of myself, this is the Fighting with Friends panel. Thank you for being here. Love to get your thoughts about all these matchups. Put it in the comments. Give us your thoughts about all these matchups. But on that note, you can catch the rest of the team literally, like I just said, later. Babu, safe. Jedi, safe. Everyone else, stay blessed. And cheers.